Oh, God, it's the D-pad.
Oh, boy.
I forget if we actually did this boss battle last time, but it started us out here when we opened up the save file, so this is what we're doing.
We're going to do it.
Yup. I'm Rick.
I'm Jeff.
And this is Shadow is a Hedgehog.
Sure is. Oh, look, gun is effective.
Yay, that's why they're an organization.
Maybe more of the Hedgehog crew should use gun.
You'd think.
Gun,
I don't know. The last character
effective.
they had that used a gun, they stopped letting him show up for games.
Yeah.
They need to bring Knack back. I used to know him as Fang because I thought Fang the Weasel was Fang the Sniper was way cooler of a name than Knack the Weasel.
Yeah.
Knack the Weasel is such a lame name compared to
Poor guy.
Fang the Sniper.
I assume that they changed it just so they could get away from, sniper, gun, that sort of title.
Because the first game he showed up in, they took out in the Japanese version where he's Fang the Sniper, he has a little pop gun. And it's explicitly a pop gun.
Yeah, it's not even a real one.
Yep. And they took out that sprite from the American version and renamed it.
Wow.
So it's like, oh, okay.
Were we being really that obsessive about anti-gun?
Apparently.
For kids. What about the kids?
Yeah, Game Gear game starring Sonic the Hedgehog has guns.
Nowadays, it's Call of Kindergarten Duty.
Oh.
They start him young.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that we get an actual remix of his theme from Sonic Adventure 2.
It's not bad. It's a good point, Eggman, I guess.
I kind of wish, maybe this is a big ask, but I kind of wish that Eggman had a better arc from Sonic Adventure 2 through Sonic Heroes into Shadow the Hedgehog, because him, I guess Rouge also, but basically him and Shadow and Robotnik are the only two fully consistent characters who are a major piece of all three of those. Like Rouge is easily the third most important to all of that, but
she's always as a side character, but an important side character that whose thread goes all the way through.
But Eggman seems to unlearn and unevolve his personality, and Rouge seems to literally have a totally different characterization about her, where she goes from it's kind of like watching Iron Man 2 and going, oh, here's Black Widow. She kind of does infiltration style stuff, and then by the end of the movie, it's like, oh no, never mind, she's a fucking ninja, and that's kind of what in Sonic Adventure 2, Rouge kind of does infiltration stuff. And then in Sonic Heroes, her first thing is her dodging bullet fire because Omega tries to murder her. And it's wait, what?
This got stepped up intensely.
Yeah. Note that in Sonic Adventure 2, she lost in one of the two storylines. She loses a fist fight to Knuckles. So,
well, Knuckles doesn't chuckle.
That's true.
He doesn't waste any time or effort. True. So,
man, we picked the wrong time to start this if we were waiting for people to be done with things. Damn. We started playing Shadow because we're like, all right, Ben's doing a World of Warcraft thing, and all right, we'll do this till he's done. Then we're gonna do some Ouya, and then we'll get on with other stuff for the night. We are we're 4 minutes into this episode,
and everybody's like, oh yeah, we're good to go, guys.
And it's like, oh, all right, so maybe we'll do one episode and then switch over or something. I don't know.
It's a family episode.
Yay! Oh, I forgot what I'm even doing in this one. I want the hero one for this. Destroy the temple jewels, because we haven't done the hero ending for this one yet.
That sounds easier.
Yeah, that does definitely sound easier. We've activated all of them, but I don't think we've destroyed them all. I don't even know that I care. Honestly, it's just a matter of which ending are we
gunning for?
Yeah. And honestly, the second, fourth, and fifth are the ones that we're still missing endings for, so it's all right, whichever one we get to, we'll just do a thing for it. Boy, that was not clear at all.
Yeah.
Here we go. See, here's the thing, too, there we go. One of the biggest criticisms when it comes to Shadow the Hedgehog is
it sucks.
Is oh, you got to use guns to do everything, and my response was usually well, you don't have to. Some things are definitely hard, like bosses, way easier with a gun, for sure.
Yeah, I've used them on occasion, but it's not like you have to.
Right. But, honestly, 9 times out of 10 in this game, I don't touch the guns at all, because I'm just nah.
I would rather play 9 times out of 10.
I'd say more.
Probably 8 times.
I would say more, honestly.
I don't know. I mean, the homing dash is pretty good, but also, whoop. Okay,
Got it.
Also,
Whoops,
that
whoops,
might have
whoops.
been a mistake.
Whoops, double whoops.
Oh,
Whoa!
triple unquadruple
No.
whoops.
Wow. That almost got me.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
Guns.
See, that brings me back to my criticism of this game, in that it sucks.
It just gives me flashbacks to Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, right. I think we had 2 or 3 bosses down before I heard you guys come up here.
Say again?
Oh, you guys.
When you first went upstairs, I think we had already had like 2 or 3 bosses.
Oh,
down.
okay.
You should tell them what you were doing.
Like,
They don't know.
moderately good progress.
There's a wall there, apparently. Okay.
What?
So tell them what you were up to.
What were you doing,
Oh,
Ben?
I did Zul'Gurub.
Some classic World of Warcraft.
Classic
Oh,
WoW.
diggy diggies.
It's no big deal. It's 20-man raid. Anyone can do it.
Anyone? Grandma? Grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
Mailman?
Little baby child.
Eric? You guys
It's meant
know
to
Eric.
supplement like the first raid.
Yeah. There we go.
Like it's not a
Yeah.
particularly difficult.
Extracurricular activity.
It just happens to be there are 2 bosses that drop items that are required to get the best enchants in the game. So it's like we're stocking up on stuff for the next raid tier. So.
Picking up what you're putting.
So you have it
down.
on farm, basically.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right. Whoa.
Oh, use a speed panel. There it is.
It's weird because it became available after Blackwing Lair, but is much easier. Like it's a tier before Blackwing Lair, or like a tier and a half before Blackwing Lair.
Interesting.
Because
So,
it's meant to like help people catch up to that point.
like a stopgap
So-
in between.
Yeah. So it's basically on farm when it came out for us. But
Oh yeah, because Classic WoW releases patches chronologically, right? Like, isn't the idea that
we're trying to keep it. It's excuse me. It's been pretty consistently
What camera?
on pace. Oh, Jesus Christ! Went for like with when the patches originally came out.
I'm
Okay.
surprised that they're doing that. Honestly, like, do they allow you to continue playing original day one WoW without patches, or because I feel like part of the appeal was that you wanted to play pre-patch WoW and pre.
Well, in terms of patches, I mean content patches.
Yeah.
So the game released in, I believe, version 1.12, because that was the oldest version that they still had available.
Okay.
So, you know, they're just like, we don't have version 1.0.
Sure.
we
we
lost
don't
the
have
code
it.
base?
Like, it's from 15 years ago.
Predates
we're,
GitHub.
we're lucky
guys,
we even
look.
had 1.12 available.
Yeah.
So that has some effects where, like, talents were, talent trees were updated, and some gear was reworked by patch 1.12.
So it's not technically the very, very first like
Right.
WoW
Yeah,
conditions ever like
So-
put out.
Yeah, so that had some effects where, like, the initial content in the game was pretty easy. But this month, actually next week, I think, the next content patch is being deployed for Unquadruple. And that'll be pretty close, not quite caught up, but pretty close. It's catching up to the patch number or whatever. So, like, it'll be kind of back on par with what abilities you have available to you and what gear you have available to you.
Right, and I think
So-
one of the reasons that like the whole classic WoW thing fascinated me, even though I never played it, is that like they were doing it on a chronological basis. So it was like you went back in time,
Yeah.
and this wasn't even available, and then 6 months or however long it took them to make that patch, or less time, but like they kind of announce when they're going to drop all these new content updates.
Yeah.
Where they like update the whole server, and I thought it was really interesting because it gives you new opportunities for like firsts. Like, if this content actually is available on the server, even though it's been around for a million years, next week. So like, it's cool to be able to.
What?
Yeah, it's been a little weird.
Oh, man,
it's
I
definitely
can't
not,
use it here.
It's definitely not the same experience as vanilla, like in 2005 or 6 or whenever I played.
Sure.
It's definitely not the same experience. partly because, partly because I play a different class, but
You also know the game.
Well, yeah, for sure.
True that.
But it's also like I had worse talents and worse gear when we were in Molten Core for the first time.
Okay.
Than we got this time. And it's just like we don't have the data to we don't have the information to bring it any earlier than that.
To somehow roll it back to that.
So what ended up happening is in the first week that the game existed, a guild had already leveled up and beaten the first raid.
Right. Basically cleared the first patch.
Yeah. And
really
then when
funny.
Blackwing Lair came out,
Cannot betray the Doctor.
almost
can't,
any guild that tries got Blackwing Lair done on the first night it released.
Right.
So, because again, the talents and the gear and everything was better than when Blackwing Lair originally released back in vanilla compared to classic. So, and yes, having a lot more knowledge and just knowing what everything does is a pretty big...
it's kind of a huge asset.
Yeah. There's been private servers where people have been playing for a long time, and maybe the values on private servers weren't 100% correct, but they tried to get them as close as possible, and lots of people have had lots of practice too. And
Yes.
so the game is very much
Not you again.
solved.
Jesus.
Besides maybe a few tweaks to we had this wrong on private servers, so maybe one extra point in this talent is better, or something like that. But maybe a few best in slot lists got shifted a little bit, something like that.
Still fascinating to
But
me.
yeah, it's it's been fun. So
Right. This
I always
music
assumed
suddenly
you were
is
playing up the edginess of his voice because
No.
making fun of
He
him.
literally talks
But wow,
this.
yeah.
it's
This is-
so bad.
This is still a step up from how he sounds in more recent stuff, where he sounds like this.
Oh boy.
I don't know if
And it's he sounds like he's part of fucking Team Cobra or whatever.
Hey,
I don't
Shadow,
know if
you
there's
wanna
a
go to
single.
space?
I don't know if there's a single part of this game that I would praise.
This place. So
I
familiar.
actually like that they do attempt
But
to wrap
why?
up the Shadow arc. The
This
final
is-
story is the only relevant part though, because all the rest of this is choose your own adventure, so it's hot swappable and doesn't matter.
The pre-rendered cutscenes they made to sell the game to production before they actually did the rest of them
Clearly
are pretty
the
dope.
the real story that they're going for.
Yeah.
Also, Sonic's a fucking dope in this game for some reason.
He's always a dope. I hate Sonic. He's
More
the
so
fucking
than
worst.
regular. This is reaction to literally everything is sweet. Some things to beat up. All right, let's go. And it's what do you? We're in fucking space. What are you doing?
He's one-dimensional.
It's dude, a laser just killed millions of people.
We'll come back next time and we'll go to level 5, which is Space Gadget. Bye.